What's up, YouTube? Big Mike once again, and this time we're going to be doing shock replacement. Alright, on this Jeep here, this is the shock on the front, which you can see why I'm replacing it. You gotta get that nut off the top there, and you come down here, and you gotta take this bolt out. Now, liquid wrench, WD-40, or if you have Kroil is the best, I believe. Give it a quick shot. If you have air tools, you're lucky and ahead of the game. If you don't, be patient and try not to bust the knuckles up. So, once I get these out, I'll bring you back. Alright, YouTube, this is just a little side-by-side comparison. Old shock, new shock. Alright guys, as you see, I have the bottom bolt started, and I left this wire on. And the reason for that is you cut that off, the shock's going to stretch out. Sometimes it can be a pain to try to get it back. So what I'll do is I'll cut that, and then I'll guide the top up, the seat in that hole, just a little easier. I mean, you can do what you want. You want to cut it first and then muscle it in. Hey, more power to you. If not, this is the easiest way I've found so far. And with these grommets, make sure this little lip right here is facing up. It's going to fit in the inside of that hole up top. Alright. Alright, YouTube, rear shocks. There's that bottom nut. And you go up here. There's the top bolt in the stud. As you see, I already sprayed it. Letting it set in. Figure I'll show you while it's setting in. Just to make it a little easier to get off. As you can see, the shock's not in best shape. Still pretty decent, but what I'm doing the front, might as well do the rear. And we'll talk more about shocks when I get finished up here. And everything we do to this side, just gonna do it again to the other. Alright. Alright guys, side by side, and what seemed to be a good shock, or pretty decent, ended up falling apart once you start banging on it, so you never quite know. So that's why we replace them. So if you're going to do one, might as well do them all, right? There's side by side comparison, old and new. So let's get her on and see what happens. Alright guys, work is all done. Got all 4 shocks on, new O2 sensor, an oil change, put an O2 sensor in my GMC Sierra, and then an oil change on it as well. Now with the shocks, I went with a mid-grade shock. I'm not doing extensive off-roading, and a little bit of off-roading I do here and there. Doesn't add up for me to actually spend a lot of money on them. Now, you can. I mean, you can spend anywhere from $20 up to $200 on shocks. That's up to you and your budget. And you really got to ask yourself what you're really doing with the car. Not, is it a need or a want? Now, this was a need, and I wouldn't want to go with a cheap shock. So a nice mid-grade, get me through. I mainly do the city driving right now around here. Don't really have time to get up the mountains or anything. And when I do, it's mainly just going up some trails. That's about it. Nothing really crazy or adventurous. So that'll do for me. Now, I'll save myself a ton of money. And by doing that, that's how I was able to get all this, afford to do all this to the vehicles without having to put a big dent in my wallet. So, little projects like this, I would encourage you guys to take on yourselves. Know your limitations, but the way the economy is now and everything like that, you got to save money where you can. So, doing as much as you can by yourself, for yourself, is definitely the best way to go. So, I'm signing out now, guys. Thanks for watching, and have a good day.